Hello everybody, it's Jay Roby. I'm going to be starting to post some chess lessons on various openings and opening defenses. This is an area where I really need to do a lot of research and learn a lot of things, so I figured that making videos would be a great way to start that process off. The first one I'm going to do is called the Alekhine Defence, and it's played by black. And it's in response to an e4 king's pawn opening by white. So we'll go through it here and we'll talk a little bit about what the objectives of the Alekhine defense are. So it starts with the king's pawn opening from white, so white to e4, and black now plays knight to f6. Now you're going to see exactly what this knight is going to do here. So white plays, for the book move, e5 with the pawn attacking the knight. The knight now goes to d5, which is baiting out the c-pawn to come out and attack, and then the knight goes to b6, and white now solidifies a nice pawn set up in the center. Now you might be thinking to yourself, and I was thinking to myself too, that this is not a great position for black, because black has one knight developed and the pawns are all in their home rank. But apparently the whole purpose of the Alekhine defense is to achieve just this from black's perspective. And as we go through the book moves here, you're going to find out exactly what the ultimate goal is. So the book moves continue on. Black now to d6, and white takes and black takes. White then plays knight to c3. Black plays bishop to e7, covering the king. And white plays now bishop to d3. Black plays knight to c6, attacking the pawn, so white plays now knight to e2, protecting the pawn. Black castles and white castles. So we're going to take a small pause here, and we'll analyze both positions up to this point here in the book moves. So what we see is we're going to look at white first. White has a strong castle position, as does black. They just castled. White's knight here is protecting this pawn here. So when it's protecting that pawn, it also has the option to jump here to f4, being protected by the bishop. So that's an option for white's knight currently. Then we have the queen here for white. Is pretty limited in what she could do, although the queen can come out on this diagonal, and if needed the queen can also move one square up, giving access along that one there. So that's what the queen has right now. Now the bishop beside the queen has the same diagonal as the queen, but other than that this bishop is pretty much blocked in. And this bishop here has a diagonal here, and that's about it there. Now the knight for white has a jump square here to b5 and to d5. b5 would be okay. d5 would be okay as well. The knight wouldn't fall to anything immediately. Now that pretty much does it for white. The rook here is pretty much sealed in. Now let's look at black. Black has an attack on this pawn with this knight, and this pawn with this knight, and both knights here could access a4. Now that doesn't do much for black, so that wouldn't be played. This knight here could access e5, being protected by a pawn for an outpost. That wouldn't be a bad move. And black's bishop here has a diagonal out. The queen is pretty much locked in place. It could go up one square, giving this diagonal. And the bishop shares the same diagonal as the queen. And the rooks are in there pretty much. The a-rook here is locked in just like white. So that's where it stands currently. So in terms of who has the advantage at this point in time, I'm going to have to say that black has the advantage at this point in time for a couple reasons. Black has, well, it's pretty close. It's pretty close, but I think you can see, and if you can't, then you'll see as we move along what black is building up to here. So we'll continue on here. So black plays a book move of f6. White plays e3 with their bishop, and now black plays bishop to g4. White now plays pawn to h3, attacking the bishop, so black just moves the bishop back currently. You'll notice that the bishop here is pinning the knight down. Oops. The bishop is pinning the knight down. So white plays queen to d2. Now black plays bishop to g6. Now, in analyzing this, it's an interesting move. It puts black's bishop under attack from white's bishop, but the goal of black here is actually to take that bishop out. Now, as we're working into the Alekhine defense, I believe it's because what black is doing is it's building up a very solid attack on white's castle position. This bishop here from white could play a pivotal role in defending the castle position. So what black wants to do is they wants to remove that. So it goes bishop for bishop. Queen now takes on d3. Black plays d5. And now white plays c5, attacking the knight here. So black retreats the knight to c8, and white plays to b4 with the pawn. Black takes the pawn and attacks the queen. And the queen falls back now to b1. Black retreats the knight, and queen takes on b7. Black plays knight to e7. Now you'll notice something about this queen. Black initially took out the bishop here because it, in my opinion, was defending the castle position. But now that this queen is gone, nothing with the diagonal attack is currently protecting that. So white now plays book move b1, supporting the rook and the queen down the b file. Black plays queen to d7. White plays queen to b5. Black moves a rook to e8, and white goes rook to e1. Now, this is the end of the book moves that I have, that I was able to find. So let's analyze the position now. In my opinion, black definitely has a better position. It has a bunch of tangible threats that it can bring to bear here on white's castle position. Now it's tough to say how that exactly would play out. So it would be up to the black player at this point in time to capitalize on that. But let's just look at black's pieces. So we have, we'll work our way left to right. Black has a bishop here that can be positioned to do a few things. It can attack on this diagonal, and it can access this diagonal if it wants to. And basically, the knight here can come into play by going to g6. The queen has access to the king's side. This knight here also can be a playing member, and the rook here is helping along this file. Okay, now let's look at white. So white has, we'll go left to right as well. The castle position on white is a little weaker. The rook is out of place. The knight here can play a role on attacking f4, but that's really all the knight can do. He can also come to g3, but you'll notice that the knight is relying completely now on the rook for defense. The bishop here can attack along the diagonal, but the bishop is only being protected by this pawn on the king's side. Okay, so if white needs to, let's say black comes in bishop for bishop, white will have to dismantle the capabilities of the castle position to take that bishop back. The knight here on c3 can move to e4, and that would give access, you'll see, to the same attack squares as one of the other knights has here. And then from here, the queen and rook for white are kind of, this queen is out of position in terms of helping with a castle defense. It does have access to come along this diagonal. However, you know, that's tough to say exactly where black would coordinate the attack. It's really only one option for the queen, other than, say, if a rook falls here, falling back to the home rank. So, anyway, that is the Alekhine Defense book moves from start to finish. And if anybody finds a longer version of the book moves, I would definitely like to you know, have a private message from you, and I'll try to get that from you. So take care, and I hope you enjoyed the video.